What are some of the best and worst vehicles that you need to watch out for when shopping for a new ride? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Up Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For this video, I'm going to share 5 reliable money-saving cars that you should buy, and also 5 that you should stay away from because they are unreliable, overpriced, or just a total waste of your money. But before we get into it, remember, if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications. So we're going to start this list off with the first vehicle, which is the Hyundai Santa Fe. Now for many, Hyundai might look like an attractive brand because they're often known for offering a lot of features and technology for the money. And that's certainly the case with the Santa Fe, which also happens to be a very practical and spacious SUV. And the newer versions are even offered as a really desirable hybrid or even a plug-in hybrid. But unfortunately, there are a few issues with the Santa Fe that might just make it best to avoid buying. The first issue has to do with the engine and transmission. The entry-level versions come with a rather underpowered 2.5 4-cylinder engine that's just a little bit too unrefined and gutless for a big heavy SUV like this. And while you can solve that issue by going for one of the higher trims with the 2.5 turbo engine, that engine does consume a lot of gas. And it also comes matched to a dual clutch automatic transmission, which happens to have quite a few issues. Dual clutch transmissions are sometimes known for being a little bit jerky, especially when driving at lower speeds, and that's certainly the case with the Hyundai transmission. In fact, the issues with this transmission are so widespread that it's even been included in a major safety recall. And not only are these transmissions known for being problematic, but they're also extremely expensive to repair or replace if they ever do fail outside of warranty. Unfortunately, this is just one example of many issues that the Santa Fe has been plagued with over the years. The older versions, for example, were known for being part of a major safety recall where the engines were known to fail, or in rare cases, even catch on fire. This was due to manufacturing defects which affected both the 2-liter and 2.4-liter engine, the latter of which was used in the Santa Fe. Now, even though these issues are often covered by the warranty, who really wants to deal with failed engines and failed transmissions, especially coming from a company like Hyundai, which has a spotty reputation when it comes to the quality of their customer service? There have been many reported issues of poor quality customer service and just being difficult to deal with when it comes to warranty claims. So if you want to avoid headaches and just want a well-made, reliable SUV, the best thing to do is just to avoid the Santa Fe altogether and instead buy yourself a much more reliable SUV, like the next vehicle on the list, which is the Subaru Outback. Much like the Santa Fe, the Outback is a very practical and spacious mid-size crossover SUV. But unlike the Santa Fe, the Outback actually has a strong reputation when it comes to its build quality and reliability. Although some of the older Subarus were known for having CVT and head gasket issues on the engines, those problems were solved a long time ago, and the reliability has improved dramatically over the years, to the point where it's really a non-issue. In fact, the Outback is often rated as one of the most reliable crossovers that you can buy, so it will offer a lot of peace of mind. And not only is the Outback extremely spacious and reliable with one of the best all-wheel drive systems on the market, but it also has a top-notch safety score too. Subarus are famous for their amazing EyeSight active safety technology, as well as having some of the best safety scores in the industry. So whether you're buying one brand new or even a used one, the Outback is an amazing all-wheel drive crossover that gives you top-notch practicality, safety, and amazing reliability. And moving on to the next vehicle that's best to avoid, we have the Chrysler Pacifica. When it comes to minivans, the Pacifica is easily the most problematic and unreliable one that you can go for, and is best to avoid buying at all costs. Whether you're buying one brand new or used, the Pacifica has never had a solid reputation when it comes to its reliability. And even though the Pacifica is offered as a plug-in hybrid, which might look really attractive, that version is just as bad, if not even worse. Not only is it not that fuel efficient and doesn't have a very good EV range either, especially in the wintertime, you also lose the seat storage, and it also has all kinds of electronic issues that are due to having a relatively complex hybrid system. And on top of that, Chrysler is not exactly known for having the best customer service, so if you do have ongoing issues with your Pacifica, resolving the issues might not be as easy as you think. In fact, the spotty reputation for reliability is one of the main reasons why the Pacifica doesn't have very good resale value when compared to other similar minivans. So whether you want to buy a brand new or used minivan, just forget about the Pacifica and save your money, and instead go for a much more reliable model instead, like one of the next two vehicles, which are the Toyota Sienna and the Honda Odyssey. I'm putting these two together because it doesn't really matter which one you go for. Either one is going to be a much more reliable option than the Pacifica. Both the Odyssey and the Sienna are known for having a rock-solid reputation when it comes to reliability, with very few repair issues as they age. And not only are these both extremely reliable minivans with very few repair issues, but they also have amazing reputations when it comes to safety, lots of active safety technology, and they're also extremely spacious and practical. And in the case of the Sienna, all models sold from 2021 onward were sold as a fuel-efficient hybrid with available all-wheel drive, which makes it even more attractive. But if you don't mind spending a little bit more money on gas, or perhaps just want to have V6 power, then the Odyssey is the one to go for. Either way, you can't go wrong with either one of these minivans, both of which are an amazing choice. And next up on the list, we'll do another SUV that's best to avoid, which is the Nissan Rogue. Now, the Rogue might be a very popular SUV that does have a lot of great things going for it, especially in the current generation, but unfortunately it's never had the most solid reputation when it comes to its reliability. The older versions, for example, before 2018 were plagued with all kinds of issues, the most serious one being the continuously variable transmission. These transmissions were known to fail at such an alarming rate that Nissan had to introduce an extended warranty due to major class action lawsuits. And unfortunately, when it comes to a failed CVT, parts and repairs are often not an option, which means you have to buy a brand new transmission, which can cost an eye-popping amount of money. Now, it is true, the newer Nissans, including the Rogue, are a lot better in the CVT department. Or perhaps they're not just old enough yet to see if the transmission issues have really been solved. Who really knows? If anything, Nissan has only added to the long-term repair concerns with the Rogue by replacing the well-proven 2.5 four-cylinder engine with a new and much more complicated 3-cylinder turbocharged engine with variable compression technology. Again, just like the newer CVTs, this engine might turn out to be a fairly reliable engine despite its complexity, but given Nissan's spotty reputation for reliability, I wouldn't be willing to place a bet on it. So if you want a crossover SUV that offers a lot more peace of mind, then don't waste your money on the Rogue, and instead buy something else instead, such as the next SUV on the list, which is the Honda CR-V. Compared to the Rogue, the CR-V has a much better reputation when it comes to its reliability. Although there have been a few issues here and there over the years, most notably the oil dilution issue, which primarily affected the 2017 and 2018 models. For the most part, however, the CR-V is a very solid SUV, and the issues it's had in the past certainly wouldn't deter me from buying one. This is the type of vehicle, if well maintained, is going to last you an extremely long time, and you can easily hold on to it for 10 to 15 years without having a lot of major issues. CR-Vs are also known for being extremely fuel efficient, offered with either a 1.5 turbo 4-cylinder engine or an even more fuel efficient hybrid, which is the one that I would personally go with. The CR-V also has a very spacious interior with a ton of interior space and cargo space. And you also have an excellent safety score with a top safety pick rating from the IIHS and a lot of active safety technology as part of Honda Sensing. Put it all together and you have a solid, well-made SUV that you really can't go wrong with. The next vehicle on the list is one that's extremely popular, but one that you might want to watch out for, which is the Jeep Wrangler. I understand why the Wrangler is such a popular vehicle. Aside from its amazing off-road ability, and the ability to remove the roof and the doors, which is pretty neat, it just has a really cool, unique look to it that you really don't get with any other vehicle. But with that said, there are a lot of concerns with the Wrangler, the first one being its reliability. It's a really unusual thing because you would expect a vehicle that's supposed to be so rugged and off-road capable to also be reliable, but that's often not the case. At best, Wranglers are known for having spotty reliability, with all kinds of potential issues with the transmissions, engines, and electronics. Thankfully though, the Wrangler is known for having very strong resale value, which means when you're finally fed up with spending money on repairs, at least you're going to be able to sell it and get a lot of your money back. Or perhaps you might want to sell it because of the way it drives. A lot of consumers buy Wrangler for some reason thinking that it's going to be a very livable and drivable everyday SUV. But that's often not the case in the real world. Wranglers are well known for being extremely loud, unrefined, and just tiring to drive, especially on longer trips. You really have to know what you're getting into if you really want to buy one, and just be prepared to spend money on repairs because they might not be as reliable as you might think. The good news though is that if you want a capable off-road SUV that's actually going to be reliable, you do have another great option to consider, which is the Toyota 4Runner. Just like the Wrangler, the 4Runner is an excellent off-road SUV that's capable enough to handle almost anything that you can throw at it. And much like the Wrangler, the 4Runner also has an amazing reputation for having very strong resale value, dropping very little in price as it ages. But unlike the Wrangler, the 4Runner is actually known for being extremely reliable and well made, with very few potential repair issues. It's not uncommon for 4Runner owners to drive a few 100,000 miles and not have anything go wrong, which is a pretty amazing thing. Now the 4Runner might not be the most sophisticated SUV, but it is extremely spacious and practical, and compared to the Wrangler, it's a lot more user-friendly to use on a daily basis. So if you want a practical, capable, and most importantly, a very reliable off-road SUV, there's no question the Toyota 4Runner is the one to go for. And now moving on to the last vehicles on this list, we're going to look at hybrids and electric cars. And the ones that you should absolutely avoid are any first-generation electric cars. By first-generation electric cars, I mean any vehicles from several years back that are nearing the end of their warranty periods. Now it might be tempting to consider one of these older electric cars as a really attractive value buy, especially when you see the attractive prices online. But don't be fooled because there's a really good reason for that. The reason why a lot of first-generation electric cars can be really affordably priced is because of the concern of battery failure, which is a major concern. It's important to keep in mind that electric vehicle batteries do degrade over time, and by the time you're nearing the end of the warranty period, the potential for an entire battery replacement is much more likely. And if that were to happen on an older first-gen electric car, the cost of a battery replacement could easily be anywhere from 15 to 25 grand, which makes absolutely no sense on a car that's not worth a lot of money to begin with. But if you really want to have an electrified car, but want to have something that's both affordable and reliable that's not going to cost you a lot of money in the long run, then a really good choice to go for is the Toyota Prius Prime. No question, the Prius Prime is one of the safest choices to go for if you want an affordable, reliable, and low-cost electrified car. Now it might not be fully electric, but for most the Prius Prime is going to do the job perfectly fine. With a full charge, the new ones are able to travel around 70 kilometers or 45 miles on electric power alone. And when that range is used up, remember, it is a Prius, which is known for being one of the most fuel-efficient hybrids that you can buy. So you're realistically not going to be spending much money on gas. Whether you're buying one new or used though, either way you're going to have a very well-made and reliable electrified car. Reliability is something the Prius is extremely well known for. You can hold on to one of these well beyond the warranty period without having to be concerned with any major repair bills. And even in the very unlikely event that you did eventually need to replace the battery when the car is extremely old, fortunately third-party or aftermarket options are available, and they're not going to break the bank either. So no question, if you want to have a well-made and safe-to-buy electrified vehicle, the Prius Prime is the one to go for. So there you have it, some of the worst and best vehicles that you need to take a look at. Let me know what you thought of this video format of buying this and not that, and leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other car videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.